This is Craner Curves at Donnington Park, one of the very best viewing points on any UK circuit. When my kids were little, they sat here on this very grass watching solo legends like Rainey, Schwantz, Doohan and Lawson. There were sidecar stars too, Beeland, Michelle, Egbert Stroy and our own Steve Webster. Happily, Donnington Park will once again ring to the sound of sidecar action because we're here for round 6 of the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. Another of our classic circuits hosted the previous round, and that was Cadwell Park. As with Snetterton, we were blessed with 2 world-class outfits on the front row, but they were all eclipsed by Scott Lorry and James Neve from the off. He shot into an early lead from Tim Reeves. Ben Bygrave was there. The Birchells bogged down. They found themselves in 4th position halfway round the first lap. But it was to be drama from the word go, because the hands came up very early on and the race was red flagged due to a first lap incident involving Ian Drown and his passenger. Both guys fortunately unharmed. The restart then took place very quickly. Scott Lorry found his gateway blocked that time. He was shut down. Reevesy from Andy Peach and the Birchells made it in and up to Charlie's on the first time. Andy Peach slotting into second. Roger Lovelock finding himself down there in 5th place. The Birchells had to cut their way through past Andy Peach, which they did in pretty traditional style. Phil Bell was riding with Tony Belsey, a new passenger at Cadwell Park. He was going well. A young man with a lot of work to do, Barry James and Jamie Wynn, coming from the back of the grid due to very poor qualifying, found themselves in the thick of the traffic. The young Bygrave and Lawson team, riding number 74, eclipsed Andy Peach. They were doing well too, but Tim Reeves, with a huge lead, made it a victory in the first race. Greg Clues doing his customary wave. Moving up the grid as a result of their first race performance, Bygrave and Lawson almost got the whole shot going into Coppice, but their card was marked by Ben and Tom Birchall, who streaked round the outside, followed by Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Scott Lorry and James Neve could do no better than 4th this time, so they were ruining the stoppage. They showed the way, obviously. The pack strung out behind them, but it was thick and fast. Barry James and Jamie Wynn trying to do an impossible manoeuvre up the inside at the bottom of the mountain, wrecked their bike and almost our camera. Bygrave and Lawson, though, were really going well ahead of John Clark and Stuart Graham. Andy Peach went neatly up the inside of Phil Bell and Tony Belsey and left them that far behind. Ben Holland and Lee Watson were chasing as well. A disappointing day by Roger Lovelock's standard. He and Rick Lawrence found themselves relatively well down the order, but the race at the front was nothing if not spectacular. Ben and Tom Birchall threw everything at Tim Reeves. Scott Lorry and James Neve, meanwhile, got it up to 3rd, but that's where they stayed. This was the battle, and Reeves yet again got the win. Two riders at the top of their game in the National Championship, and there you can see how it stands. Lorry and Neve, that 2nd place margin reduced a bit. Lovelock and Lawrence still there. Peach, Bell, Bygrave, Holland. James and Wynn in 9th. They are disappointed with their season so far, I can tell you. Much to be expected from Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance. Can they deliver when we get to the next round? 14th place there, Ian Drown and Ryan Anderson. Despite that huge crash, they are both okay, so we'll be seeing them when we get to Donnington. Everybody in there with some points. Well, Tim Reeves does have a massive championship lead, but it's not a done deal. There's lots of time still for the guys to catch him, lots of points up for grabs. Donnington Park, free practice yesterday. A lot of crews were going very, very quickly. This is the Melbourne Loop section, which is going to be interesting to say the least for sidecars. Let's take a look then at the full lap of Donnington Park. And this is a track I know intimately. Down the start-finish straight towards Redgate. Coming back down the gearbox here, hard on the front brake, taking a wide line and then clipping the apex late at about 80 miles an hour. Round for Hollywood. Keep it driving, driving, driving. Hug the inside, then creep across to the left for Craner Curves, where the front end thinks it's washing away, but it isn't. Get it back, get over to the left and then hard into the hairpin, just clipping the rumble strip up towards Starkey's. It's a little bit bumpy as you throw it left here, but driving hard, fourth gear, round Schwantz, round, front brake hard on, clip the apex, down into third gear, sometimes second at McLean's, away then up towards Coppice. This is a double apex right-hander, very, very fast. There's the first apex. There's the second apex. Now, away up the straight, fourth, fifth, under what used to be the Dunlop Bridge. It ain't there anymore. Now, into the reworked Foggy's S's. It's a wider swoop in and a wider swoop out. That allows it to be taken much quicker. Fourth gear, fifth gear over the crest of the hill, back, down the gearbox. Brake hard on. I'm talking front brake on a sidecar outfit. There is only one set of brakes. You push hard with your left foot up towards Goddard's, over the crest of the hill. This is where it can be won and lost. All sorts of drama has unfolded here over the years, and our front end got a little bit loose then. That's a lap of Donington Park. Well, you've seen the championship table, you've seen the circuit, so you'll understand just how important a good grid position here is at Donington for these guys. 2 races on the programme. It's vital to get a good start in the first one. They're going qualifying. It was good to see Mick Bleakley and Heath Lane on the number 46 yellow and black outfit. They were wild cards at Donington, just as they were at Snetterton at the previous round. Normally running in the National Championship, they appreciate just how quick these guys go. And certainly they did go very, very quickly. 1 or 2 of them feeling their way round. Even Phil Bell going up the inside of Bleakley, a bit tentative on the Melbourne Loop. Not all of the riders had experienced the full GP circuit at Donington, and that did show. Qualifying was a fairly straightforward event for Ben and Tom Birchall, having scrubbed in a tyre as quickly as they could. They then had a look at the outfit, went back out again. Just the one qualifying session, but Tim Reeves made no mistakes at all, and he was very, very quick. Carl Parkinson let the hairpin catch him out one more time. I said he was tentative, and he was indeed. 1 or 2 of the outfits went in there just too hot. Gary Smith and Justin Sharp on the red and black outfit went very well. The number 14 were to prove to be real contenders in the race. Tim Reeves and Greg Clues were relegated, however, to second fastest. It was Ben and Tom Birchall who took the honours, with Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence claiming third. Ben and Tom Birchall, pretty good start to the weekend. You left it late in the session, but pole position, that'll do, won't it?
Yeah, pleased with that. Yeah, we just sort of settled in. We only had 1 qualifying session today, so we settled in first half and made a few adjustments, and yeah, went out and did a good lap.
I was watching the times, Tom, and as I say, left it late, but you took 0.7 of a second out of Tim Reeves on that lap. It was a real flyer.
Yeah, we just, like Ben said, we come and made a few adjustments, knew what we needed to find, and yeah, just relaxed really, went out and did it. We know the circuit well, and the bike's absolutely flying, so yeah, it was okay to do.
Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, front row start, massive championship lead. I mean, that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it, really? Yeah, it was, went out and had 4 or 5 real good laps, come in, put some fresh rubber on, went out and just never got a clear bit of road. It's so hard to piece it. It's such a fast-flowing track, you need every inch of the track to make a perfect lap, and we just, unfortunately, we had 3 laps and unfortunate traffic, but it doesn't matter, everything, the bike's running good, and yeah, looking forward to the race. I think it'll be quite a good battle, yeah.
Greg, Donington Park is a circuit with a lot of history. Do you like the circuit?
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful track. All the parts is fast, so for Sidecar it's really good track. Yeah.
How many times have you ridden here on this GP circuit?
I think 4 times, yeah, but not since 2008, yeah, for the World Championship.
Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, 3rd place. I mean, that's great. 2nd row start though, but that's a good effort.
Hey, who cares? We're up there with them. That's the main thing. No, brilliant. I expected hopefully we're going to get, in the top 6, but yeah, 3rd is absolutely awesome. Tyres working well, weather's good. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And just hope we can keep it up for the first race.
Well, with that start, you're going to be fighting a rearguard action. If there's anybody quick, where are they going to try and come through, do you think, Rick?
Oh, it's going to be, as per normal, it's going to be a pretty big melee there on the first lap, going down through Craner curves and the first red gate and that. I mean, there's a lot of boys out there behind us that are, you know, have got the ability to be where we are. And, you know, there's normally a battle of 5 or 6 of us. You've got a couple of people that are further down the track that you wouldn't expect to be down there as well. So it's going to be a normal melee on the first corner, and then down through Craner Curves and into the old hairpin is going to be interesting on the first lap. So to keep your hands and elbows in a bit, and hopefully we come out the other end of it in a good place.
Well, I keep saying time and time again, consistently, you've done it again. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
Well, let's take a look at the grid then. Are there any surprises there? I tell you what, Chaplow's done well, along there with Gary Smith on row 5. It's the usual pair up the front, Reeves and Birchall, Lovelock Lawrence, Laurie Neve and Bygrave and Lawson. Barry James's season seems to have gone backwards since the stunning start with a double win at Brands. Phil Bell up there, look. Shandon Barrett from Scotland, they're doing well. I tell you what, it's going to be fantastic. 10 laps round here, can't wait. I simply couldn't resist it. Qualifying's over. We've got our grid for the first race. We're going to take a short break now. Okay, so we're on the back of the grid. It doesn't matter. Join us again after the break. Take it easy. Race 1 about to get underway, and the clouds are coming in. I don't know if it's going to rain. It's 10 laps. That's going to be about 20 minutes. I've got Scott Laurie and James Neve here on the 3rd row. Bygrave and Lawson qualified well. They're on the 3rd row. Andy Peach, 4th fastest, again, number 4 on the bike. An amazing 3rd place in qualifying for Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. They surprised even themselves with that time. Only a 1.5 seconds off the pole position time. Clipped in the last lap and a half of qualifying. Tim Reeves knocked down to 2nd place on the grid, but it's pole position for Ben and Tom Birchall. They took 0.7 of a second out of Tim Reeves in the closing stages of qualifying. It is going to be a terrific 10-lapper. Donnington Park lends itself to sidecars, a beautifully flowing circuit, and the scary rush into Redgate when the lights change. That right-hander where it's going to be bunched up. You heard Rick Lawrence saying how interesting the first lap's going to be down Craner Curves towards the old hairpin. Everyone away, but on the inside it's Tim Reeves and Greg Clues slotting across the Birchalls from the outside of the grid there, cutting across. But Tim Reeves leads, then it's Birchall's. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, number 4 in 3rd. The green outfit of Lovelock and Lawrence. We're going to see a battle royal here. Don't forget the Birchalls, Ben and Tom, number 16, are on home ground. Gary Smith going through. Oh, the sidecar wing has gone. That's Greg Lambert and Carl Schofield. Oh dear me, so they've lost their sidecar wing on the first lap. We said there was going to be contact, and there was a bit of contact. The Santander number 3 outfit of Barry James and James Wynn not getting off the line at all well. They're well down the order. At the front though, the green and yellow, Paget's Honda, Tim Reeves, the Yamaha, number 16, Ben Birchall, then the Suzuki, number 4, Andy Peach, another Suzuki, Roger Lovelock having a look at the inside of Andy Peach. Barry James going through on the inside of Gary Horsepole, number 32, so moving up the order. This is where the scrap is though. Don't forget, 10 laps round here. It's going to be a relatively short race for these guys. They're World Championship regular runners. They're used to doing 20, 22 laps. A lot further than this. Right on the grass, Ben and Tom Birchall, putting the passengers backside over like a flymo over the grass. Here we go then, down towards Redgate. They're breaking away now. Up to 3rd has gone the green outfit of Lovelock and Lawrence. But this is where the scrap is. These two, Birchall, the Birchall brothers lying 2nd in the World Championship with only 4 more points needed to consolidate that. Tim Reeves can't do anything about the World Championship because it's won already. So whether he will go to the World Championship round at Silverstone remains to be seen. The Birchalls have to go. They need 4 points. We won't be seeing them in round 7. But look at the sidecar wheel clipping over the rumble strip in the air. The passenger just keeping his weight to the absolute optimum, approaching Coppice, and they're making a bid on the inside. They're through, but it's a double apex. Reeves takes the wide one in and chops them off at the second apex, and he's still in front. But there's a very clear signal has come there now as they approach the foggy S's from Ben and Tom Birchall. They want this one. They want the 25 points. They're at the S's. It's a smoother, wider sweep out, enables them to get the power on as they go over the hill down towards the Melbourne hairpin. How's it going to be taken? Well, they can only follow a lead around there because Tim Reeves, riding a very canny race, keeps it tight. Lovelock and Lawrence still very much in the hunt, as indeed are Peach and Richardson. But this still the battle at the front. Craig Chapler and Patrick Farrance having a brilliant ride after their strong qualifying. Their CTR crew on the pit wall, watching the monitor, watching what's going on. And we'll give you a report on their progress just as soon as we get them in shot. Meanwhile, we're stuck here. Stuck? What am I talking about? This is where the battle is. A fantastic, fantastic battle. Clues then dragging his left backside just over the tarmac. These passengers, and one of these days we're going to tell you just what these passengers get up to in the winter season in terms of training. John Clark and Stuart Graham, number 90, out of it. They've been plagued with a misfire. It wasn't revving. The limiter was coming in too early, so it's expired again. Very early stages of race one, all the way from County Down, and it comes to Nout. Ben Birchall, Tom in the chair, nipping away still at the heels of Tim Reeves. But while they're scrapping there, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence are closing because they're tripping each other up just a little bit. Into the S's again they go. I'm just looking to see if the gap is stretching, and in fact, it isn't. They're not getting away one little bit. Birchall's got to bide his time. He will know where the passing opportunities are here. One of them is at Redgate. Another one is down at the old hairpin if they can get out of the Craner curves quick enough. There's not much to be gained by going in too hot here because you tend to run wide and pick the chair up. That's exactly what happened there to Ben Birchall. But they're away again, down the straight one more time. Redgate, down to third gear for Redgate. They're at it now. Ben Birchall tucked down in the fairing there, just watching and waiting. One slip from Tim Reeves and he'll pounce. Reeves in the 25-point position. Ben Birchall in the 20-point position. Reeves with a massive championship lead. Ben Birchall in third place in the championship. Scott Lorry, his adversary, is a little bit further down the field, certainly not in the top four at this moment in time. The big runoff areas at Donington Park make it such a good, fast-flowing circuit. It inspires confidence. That's the bend where Ben Birchall made his bid for glory, but he's a bit further back this time. He's not close enough, really, to get in the hunt, get in the slipstream of Tim Reeves. But nobody knows better than Ben Birchall. Oh dear. Gary Horsepole and Rob Biggs out of it with a mechanical retirement. The yellow flag's waving. Roger Kershaw of the number 29 crew watching with a very anxious face because I'm not sure why he looked so concerned. His son's still circulating, Steve Kershaw, at this moment in time. But this is the battle for the lead. You can see now that they've dropped away the number 49 outfit. The Birchalls now as close as they have been. They're sensing that with only 10 laps, the full race distance, they haven't got time to hang around. There's no time or no opportunity for plan B. They can't recover, they can't get second wind. They've got to do it now. At the old hairpin, round they go, onto the bottom straight, towards Starkey's. They're at Starkey's, round the left-hander. Schwantz curved this one, then up to McLean's. Are we going to see it at Coppice this time? They're as close now as they've been. Oh, he scrubbed some speed off there, went in a bit too hot, and the back end broke loose. That snaking will have cost him fractions of a second, and you could see the elastic stretch again, and away went Reeves and Clues. Birchall was shaping himself up for an attacking move. The momentum would have carried him all the way up the hill, but he's look at that. It's almost as though Tim Reeves has got wing mirrors. He sensed he was on the outside there. He moved over to block the line. Tim Reeves' racecraft, second to none. Is there a way down here on the inside for Ben Birchall? It's a brave man, but he's going to have a go. No. Tim Reeves keeps it close. They've got to get the power on. The drag up the hill towards Goddard's. Trying everything he knows now, Ben Birchall. Everything he knows. Can he keep it? Oh, he's on the grass. It's such desperate measures. The hand in the air. A little wave in the air. The atmosphere's gone a little bit damp here, and I suspect that Greg Clues is worried that there might be moisture on the track. Just a few spots of rain, but as quickly as they arrive, they seem to dissipate. So it's business as usual. Down goes Clues' hand, down goes Reeves' head, and he gets on with the business of winning this race. Ben and Tom Birchall still very much in touch, but they've lost the initiative. Getting it crossed up twice on the same lap, once into McLean's, and the second time on the approach to Goddard's has cost them dear. It's almost now, if I didn't know him better, I'd say that Ben Birchall has settled for second place. Except I do know him quite well, and he never settles for second place. The head of Tom down behind the perspex. And in fact, Roger Lovelock said to me they missed the Dunlop Bridge because when they went under there, he knew it was a marker. They'd have to be popping up out of the bubble and into the slipstream at any moment for the S's. He's close again. He's close again here, trying a different tack. Chopping on the inside this time. Now, is it going to be a fast run into this left-hander of Goddard's? Approaching very, very quickly, but Tom is out. Not even looking, just keeping his head down. Now he looks. Tim Reeves kept the door closed that time. He thought there might be an attacking move coming up the inside, but he couldn't have been further from the truth. It was the other side of the track. They were looking at the outside, trying everything they know to get past Tim Reeves on the Honda. Honda versus Yamaha. The Paget's Honda. Look at the speed down there, both of them in a full three-wheel drift on the approach there at Starkey's. Round they come. Up to Schwantz. McLean's then, the right-hander. Birchall's got the slingshot, definitely there. He's right on him now. There's almost paintwork being swapped. This is it. Coppice gets on the inside. He's there. He's there. He's nailed it, but he went wide. He went wide, and they're almost on the gravel. He just went in too hot. So that's deja vu, I think, for Tim Reeves. Twice he's been passed at Coppice. Twice he hugged the tight line, and twice Ben Birchall ran wide. That's given it now, in my opinion, humble opinion, I have to say, to Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. As they come down to the Melbourne hairpin. What a race. Two world-class competitors giving it their very best shot in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. The Sidecar Championship in the UK. Just a little bit ragged now, Ben Birchall. Going in hot there, getting the sidecar wheels some 3 or 4 inches off the tarmac on the entry to the bend. That's no good because you can't drive it when the chair wheel is up. You need the chair wheel planted so you can drive it round the corner. He knows that far better than I do. Ben Bygrave's father giving him the come on. The boys are well placed, Bygrave and Lawson. Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance going well. There you are, 7th place for them. That's a season best for Craig Chaplow and Pat Farrance. Terrific ride from those boys. Tim Reeves and Greg Clues, though, now have this pretty much sewn up. Phil Bell with Phil Hydes in the chair this weekend, so yet another passenger for Phil Bell. Ben Holland, Lee Watson, we haven't seen too much of them in this race, although they have been circulating consistently in the middle order. So a little bit for them to do. Look at the performance, I think, in race 1 to bring it into race 2. Phil Bell in the sunshine here now at Donnington Park, leading Gary Smith. Gary Smith, I remember interviewing him some 20 years ago at Knockhill, so he's been around a long time. He was on F2 outfits then. A championship winner, a British champion in his day. So there's more to come from Gary Smith, I tell you, when he gets that bike sorted. He's been plagued with problems. Not so these guys, although they did have a bit of Honda engine performance in the early part of the season. But my goodness me, Clive Paget got them sorted. He's helped them immensely. And look how quick that Honda is going now. In the background, what was to have become a motocross circuit here at Donnington Park, I think that's on hold. Thankfully, the Wheatcroft family have now reclaimed the circuit to run it commercially as a race track again through 2012, so that's good news for all forms of motorsport. Easy peasy, you might say now, for Tim Reeves. I think Ben Birchall's enthusiasm got the better of him. He's certainly unbelievably quick, but on a good day, Tim Reeves takes some beating, and I have to say that this looks to be a good day. Over the rise to the Melbourne hairpin. Still not out of the running by any means, the third place number 49 crew, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. There they go through the shot now. No sign of the fourth place man, but we're looking at the race leader. One lap to go then for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues as they cross the line. Oh, look how close the green outfit is. Birchalls are slipping back. They are losing it. There's either a mechanical problem or their confidence has been dented. I'm not sure which, I can't possibly know. But Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence are on them. They are very, very close. The third place crew have really wound in. This man has gone away. So you can see the gap is visible now. It's almost the entire length of Craner Curves. Oh, Scott, what a shame for him. Scott Laurie, James Neve out of the race, and I suspect out of second place in the championship table, although it's going to be close, not nearly as close as we've got now on the last lap. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, number 49, on the back of the Birchalls. We're riding with them now, the Green Meanie. Up the old sideways, they've got a problem. They've got a major tyre problem. The back end stepping out. Are we up to second? No, we're not. They're still fighting. We're on the start-finish straight. This the battle then for second place. It's a done deal for race leader Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. Are they going to be able to keep it tight? Roger Lovelock senses second place on the podium could be his if he can keep it on now. Down into the right-hander here at the Melbourne hairpin. He's on the inside. They're through. He's ridden the Birchalls wide. They can't come back from that one. This is Tim Reeves then at Goddard's. The left-hander, just the chair wheel in the air. The number one, the index finger of Greg Clues. That's the way to do it, boys. The sprint for the line. Birchall's got the hammer down. Neck and neck. How close? I can't call that. That's too close to call. Did Lovelock do it? Did Birchall do it? I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. Unbelievably close. Fourth place for Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson. A stunning victory for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues. 25 more points. They just march on to an unassailable lead in this championship. They got it. Lovelock and Lawrence got it. Second place, that's a season best for them. What more can you say? Birchall and Birchall, well, they had a problem. As it happened, they had a flat tyre. So that's what happens when you get a puncture. A lot of retirements there. Laurie and Neve out of it. That's the most significant one. Horsepole and Biggs. And poor Steve Kershaw. Rod Robinson there too, Roy Farmer. They're not having a good season. There's more to come from them, I'm sure. Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, what an absolutely stunning race. You were grumbling a bit because you said 10 laps, it's going to be over quickly, but I tell you what, it was fast and furious, wasn't it?
Yeah, I stand by what I said, it was too short, but yeah, excellent race. What can you ask for? Two of the fastest teams in the world, and having a proper battle like that. I think we were fortunate that Air Tyre lasted probably a lap or two more than Ben's, but when you're pushing at that pace, they were getting so much stick. It was just a matter of time before one of them gave way, and luckily Air Tyre lasted a little bit longer than theirs, and I'm over the moon with the win. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Greg, I saw your hand in the air. There was some rain just at one point, and you might have thought this was going to be heavy.
You have little rain on different parts, but I really enjoy this race. We have a big fight, but I'm sorry for Ben and Tom. I think he have a problem with the rear tire. Thank you very much for all the sponsors. Thank you very much.
Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, what an absolutely brilliant race to cap what you did in qualifying. I won't say it was a surprise, you earned it.
Yeah, we were trying hard, I'll tell you. No, yeah, they weren't really making a huge amount of ground on us. You know, there was that constant distance all the time. And I think that 1 or 2 laps from the end, I think there was Ben went on the gravel, and we certainly took advantage of that and caught him up in foggy S's. And I thought, shall I go for that? And I thought, nah, it's a bit risky because all of us, both of us come up worse there. So no, down at the hairpin, and we got him there, but it was the drag up to the left-hander at the top up here. And I overshot it a little bit, and it was really close over the line. So yeah, absolutely fantastic result. Pleased with it. Well,
terrific result, and added to which Scott Laurie had problems as well. So that's really helped you in the points run.
Yeah, it's unfortunate here. Scott's got problems, but yeah, we're here to try and do as well as we can in the championship. So yeah, terrific ride by Roger. We got close on the last lap, and I thought we're going to mug him. We're going to mug him on the last lap, and yeah, it was awesome. Drive to the line, it was like, there was nothing in it. It was really just a drag race to the line, and we come off better. So yeah, well chuffed. Glad I know how to do it, and my driver is awesome. So yeah, fantastic.
Ben and Tom Birchall, I tell you what, Ben, you threw everything at that, didn't you?
Yeah, everything. I think by about lap 6 or something like that, I'd sort of got measure of him, and it felt like a matter of time. But then the back end just went off, so I'd give it a lap and try to let it sort of cool down and come back, but it never did. Right, it was really bad towards the end. I wasn't quite sure until we stopped. We actually had a puncture in the rear tyre, so really lucky to finish, But before that, fair dues, it was good race and great place to be. I must say a massive thanks to Mitchells and Mansfield and also the guys from Napit there with us this weekend. So hopefully we can do some more tomorrow. So bodes well for tomorrow, knowing we had a puncture, and we can perhaps go one better.
Well, Tom, that was top-class racing. 2 of the best crews in the world, really doing it on home soil. It was great to watch.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was great to be involved in it. Yeah, shame we couldn't have just kept the pace up to the last few laps, but we'll be trying again for tomorrow. We know what the problem was, so yeah, just a big thanks to everybody involved.
Craig Chaplow, Patrick Farrance, fantastic result, best ever British Championship result. You've been plagued all season, but it's come together.
I know, it's like buses, isn't it? Both come at once. Cadwell, great weekend, and then 5th place after that. Best result I've ever had in the championship.
Patrick, you said he's been riding better and better. That must have been really, really smooth, because 5th in this company, that's a great result.
Yeah, it's a real tough championship. I mean, everybody's competitive, and to be fair, we were a bit disappointed after qualifying because we ended up 10th. So to be battling who we're battling with and get 5th, we're over the moon with that.
Well, what a terrific first race to set the scene here at Donnington. We've beaten the weather, the clouds are rolling in, but 10 laps, we got it underway and completed in the dry. A brilliant result for Roger Lovelock. We're going to take a short break. Join us again for part 3. Welcome back to the grid for race 2. On the 3rd row here, Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson equalled their qualifying, so they're still on the 3rd row. A tremendous ride in the first race saw Craig Chaplow and Pat Farrance improve by 5 places. Their best British Championship finish, 5th. That puts them on the 3rd row. 4th again, Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, ever reliable, but they're there on the 2nd row. They want to do something about that. Relegated to the 2nd row, the tyres went off, and then, would you believe, it punctured, so they ran for 2 laps, Ben and Tom Birchall, with a flat tyre. A terrific 2nd place for Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, but Tim Reeves, pole position, starts the race from the front row, won race 1, looking utterly invincible. Let's go racing. There's a bit of blue sky, but very strong wind. Fortunately, the side winds, crosswinds, not affecting Sidecar outfits too much. They're low slung, they're very slick, so a crosswind is not too much of a problem for them here at Donnington. 10 laps then. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence starting on the front row. Roger Lovelock, the only man to contest all of the races. He's got the whole shot here. Roger Lovelock's got his nose in front. I was about to say all of the races since this championship was conceived in its current format, but he hasn't got the whole shot. He's 2nd. Tim Reeves got it, but a good 2nd place start from the front row. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, Ben and Tom Birchall. Up the inside then, The leg of Tom Birchall being waved at Rick Lawrence as he dives on the inside. A cracking start by the number 14 outfit of Gary Smith, showing us what he's capable of. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, where are they? 4th place. They're in 4th. There they are. Then it's Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson. Then it's Craig Chaplow, Pat Farrance. Then it's Ben Holland, Lee Watson, the number 60 yellow and black outfit. But this, the top 3 then. Top 3 as they finish race 1, but in a somewhat different order. In that, the 2nd place man is now in 3rd. Ben and Tom Birchall know full well that they've got to get stuck into Tim Reeves early on in this race, because it'll be over before they or Tim Reeves knows anything about it. They're all close, they're bunching up first time round at the Melbourne Loop. Can they get past him? Ben and Tom Birchall then, from just up the road. They're right on him, they're right on. Oh, wiggly, wiggly. It went all squirrely there. He just went in a bit too hot. Had to grab a load of brake. Tom Birchall didn't quite know whether he'd be able to get out on the chair or keep the brake anchored. Let's have a look then. Off the line, you can see Roger Lovelock to the left. We're on board with Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. Through come the Birchalls, siding through, taking a look at the inside line at Redgate. But that door is firmly slammed in their face by the green meanie. This trio renewing their acquaintance then from race 1. Roger Lovelock knows he can run with them. He's not letting them get away this time. You heard it from his own lips that they weren't getting away. He was running at race pace with the leaders, and he's doing it again here. Just watch the way they slide the back end. So deceiving. Television pictures belie just how quickly these things are going into the corner. The G-force is incredible. It's threatening to throw the passenger off into the grass. It's no wonder they get forearm pump up, because they do. Into the S's. This is the battle then further back. We're riding on with Bygrave and Lawson between the two boys, the boy band as I call them. Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, Ben Holland, Lee Watson right behind them, having a better run this time. We're on board with Ben Holland now, closing on the back of his arch rival. Just a handful of points separate them in the championship. And the rivalry in those two crews, phenomenal. Scott Lorry, James Neve, they're running this time. At least they're out there. They retired from race 1. Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance just really, they flattered to deceive earlier in the year, but now they're really on the case. They had a good run at Cadwell Park. They're going even better here. These boys, though, daggers drawn at the front. It's going to be interesting to see if any of the lessons learned in race 1 can be applied in race 2 by Ben and Tom Birchall. But to get past Tim Reeves, you've got to be firm, you've got to be quick, and you don't have to give him any chance to think about it. Do it by surprise. Problem is, I suspect that Ben Birchall might have played all his cards, and Reevesy knows where he's going to go, but he's on the outside. Can he cut across? Oh yes, he stopped him in his tracks, got the brakes on. There was nowhere for Tim Reeves to go. Ben Birchall and Tom Birchall lead this race 2 here at Donington. Tim Reeves, though, knows Donington like the back of his hand, but they're getting away. They're stretching that gap, Ben and Tom Birchall. I expected Reevesy to be all over him like a rash immediately after that overtaking move, but they're getting away. Can they hold it all together? This is a bit of an Achilles heel at Goddard's here for Ben and Tom Birchall. They've been coming in there looking a little bit ragged, but not so now. This is the runner-up position of the World Championship, leading this race. Only 4 points remaining for him to consolidate that. The world title already won, but if Ben and Tom Birchall can finish runners-up in 2011, that gives them a fantastic springboard to go into the 2012 season. Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, number 74, Ben Holland, Lee Watson, number 60, resuming their battle on track here. Now that looks to be a phenomenal distance, but it isn't. You can close that down very quickly on the brakes. And you can see how the outfits are sawing there. Here we go. Ben Holland not having the best of days by his standards, but as we come out of Coppice onto the fastest part of the circuit, top gear, something approaching 170 miles an hour just there before they go down the gearbox into the foggy S's. It's quick, it's very, very quick, and they're closing. Race leader, second place, Tim Reeves, Greg Clues. Third place, Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, number 49 on the green outfit. Yamaha leads. Honda in second. Suzuki in third. There is some rumour that possibly BMW will feature in the 2012 championship. How good will that be? That'll be harking back to the days of World Championship sidecar racing from the 50s and 60s, if we get the German mark represented out here. All four Japanese brands are certainly represented. Scott Lorry and James Neave now making a bid on Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Not going to be easy though, because Ben Holland's a hard rider. Is there a way through? This is at Schwantz. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. At McLean's, he's got it. Pushing him wide. Yes, he's got it. Scott Lorry and James Neave go through then, passing the number 60 outfit. And there it is, confirmed, but he's come back on the inside. So a real battle royal between these two. And Lorry again. Can he cut back again? Nip and tuck. There's nothing in it. Except we know that the number 72 outfit is unbelievably quick. Well, you might not know, but I certainly know, because I was watching it through the speed trap. It is one of the fastest outfits out there. Mind you, Ben Holland's number 60 outfit, no slug either. Down at the hairpin then, this has to be taken carefully, and as Andy Peach and Ben Bygrave, fourth and fifth, go way up the hill, Scott Lorry, Ben Holland having their own scrap as they approach Goddard's. Scott Lorry though has now eased away. I'm not quite sure, he's had clutch problems, I know, in the first race. He fitted a new clutch and left it too tight, so there was slippage there. Not sure what's the problem here. I suppose that resulted in a back row grid position, so he's fought all the way from the back of the grid. So I may be being a little bit unjust to Scott Lorry. We're so used to seeing him run fast at the front, but of course you come from the tail end of the grid in this company, it's going to be an uphill struggle for 10 laps all the way. Down the hill, Phil Bell leading Craig Chaplow, John Clark. I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned the passengers' names, it's so quick, but I will, I promise you. These three having a massive scrap now. Craig Chaplow inspired by his first race, 5th place finish, but Phil Bell, such a wily campaigner, albeit with a new passenger. Phil Hyde's holding down the third wheel for him. Patrick Farrance in with Chaplow. Stuart Graham in with John Clark, trying to make amends for their retirement in the first race. Not the best outing for them. Normally they run very strongly at the front end, at the sharp end, shall we say. Can Craig Chaplow ease past Phil Bell? One would have thought so, given that, oh no, that's a disappointment. All the hard work then in race 1 for Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence comes to no good. That massive points tally of 20. So you could say poetic justice as far as Scott Lorry is concerned. He still might not forsake his second place in the championship, but it's going to be tight. So that promotes Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson to third. So no longer is it 4 on the bike, 4th in the race. It's 4 on the bike, 3rd in the race. And now 4th then for Ben Bygrave and Callum Lawson, number 74. And when it comes to the young crews, this pairing are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. A good finish in their very first World Championship race at Oschersleben, so they can feel comfortable with a strong top 6 finish, and they're putting that to good use here at Donington Park. We'll be seeing a lot more of these young guys in that very distinctive a la Tim Reeves livery. They share an awning, and they also share the benefit of his advice. Out of the running, Barry James and James Winnie. Not a good day then for the Santander Salt number 3 outfit, owned and supplied in fact by Roger Body, who's normally in the hot seat. Commentating with me, Stephen Kershaw, number 29. and Rob Wilson. Their day is a double retirement for them, so that's a long way to come from Scotland down here to get it wrong. Mechanical problems plagued all weekend. A fuel blockage it was in the first race. As to the reason for the second retirement, I don't know. I'll try and find out for you at the end. Charlie Richardson over the right-hand side of the bike. This now the battle for third. I think Bygrave and Lawson can smell a podium here. They're closing. These outfits know each other well. They've been hard at it all season throughout the championship. This round 6 of 8 as Birchall's streak on their way to what looks like a victory here. Hopefully no more tyre gremlins for them. They seem to have got it well and truly ironed out, and it's very fitting that Reeves and Birchall's would lift a win apiece. The battle for third then. Scott Lorry now very much in the frame. Are we going to see the Scotsman claw back some much needed points here? Putting his passenger through the rough part of the track as he bounced over the rumble strip. This is third place. Andy Peach, very experienced. He's not easily going to give that up, I can tell you. A bit of smoke from the rear wheel as he got the power on. Sun well and truly out here. The wind has dropped. It's now become a perfect day and perfect race conditions. Oh yes, Scott Lorry 72 is closing. We're on board now with Scott Lorry. Not long left in this race. So he's really got to get the hammer down, wind that twist grip back and chuck it into the bends, keep it as smooth as he can. You can see a little bit of threatening bitting there as the back stepped out. He corrected it, straightened up the way down Craner curves, hitting the apex of the sidecar wheel. Now, is he going to go back 2? Yes, down 2 gears here. Oh, a spin! A spin! Oh, yes, smoke! So that's Bygrave and Lawson. The smoke came off the tyre. They came out of there too hot. They spun. Did they do him a favour or what? So Scott, they're lucky to keep it upright, but keep it upright they did. Scott Lorry then through. They've dropped into the clutches of John Clark and Phil Bell. It's a 9-wheeler. It's a 9-wheeler here. And Craig Chaplow is right there in the picture, waiting to pick up the pieces if all this ends in tears. There's a bit of something flapping, you can see on the right-hand side there. Oh, another one in the gravel. Brighton Beach it is for Holland and Watson. They've spun it 2, and they keep it upright. Oh, both the boys out of the running. Although Bygrave and Lawson are back in the running, but they've put themselves under a fair amount of pressure now from John Clark, Phil Bell and Craig Chaplow. 2.5 miles to do. Are they going to be able to defend this place? Is Chaplow going to be able to come from the back of that pack and slip past Phil Bell? John Clark going well, he's up there, he's still going, he's doing something to make amends for his first race retirement. Oh, the wheel in the air from Bygrave. They've got tyre problems, they've definitely got rear tyre problems. The back end let go then, alongside goes John Clark. They're going in to the bottom bend as they come up the hill then towards McLean's. John Clark climbing all over the back of them. Is there a way through here? He's got to look at the inside. And now up to Coppice. This is where he could do it if he can get close enough. But also he's running a defensive race because Phil Bell's nibbling away too. That bike of Ben Bygrave's is quick, very quick. He's gapped him. Phil Bell's alongside John Clark. They're neck and neck. We're watching from the back of Ben Bygrave as we also now cut to the front of the race at Goddard's. The checkered flag awaits then. So the Mitchells of Mansfield sponsored Yamaha sweeps over the line. The Paget's Honda of Tim Reeves, Greg Clues in second place. And who's going to be third? Who's going to be third? Andy Peach claiming it. Scott Lorry there. Terrific stuff for Scott Lorry. He recovered very, very well. And this battle now, they all come in neck and neck and neck. Side by side, John Clark. Phil Bell spins. The chair almost up in the air. John Clark out as well. Wow! It's all happening on this last lap. They did Craig Chaplow a favour, Ben Bygrave as well. So another terrific result for Chaplow and Farrance. Race winners then, the Birchall boys. I'm breathless. I'm absolutely breathless. That was one Dickens of a 10-lapper. There it is. Birchall, Reeves, Clues, Peach, Lorry, Bygrave and Lawson. Chaplow a fine 6th to equal his 5th in the first race, or to go with it, shall I say. Clark and Graham got 7th. Gary Smith 8th. He's getting better and better and better. But look at the retirements. Lambert, Holland, Kershaw, James, Lovelock, Parkinson and Ian Guy. 13 finishers. Mick Bleakley gets 3 Eastern Airways points. Good for him. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson. I'll tell you what, Andy, it's getting tougher, isn't it?
Really hard. I mean, that was a problematic race. It didn't look it, but I'd put a new back tyre on that hadn't been scrubbed. Thought it'd be good. 3 laps, that was it. So it was quite impressive, probably for Speedway style, but that was about it.
Charlie, we've talked before about the tyres and how you have to work extra hard in the chair. I mean, you can feel it moving around. Do you know when the tyre's going dodgy?
Yeah, you can feel it vibrating and sort of bouncing about when you're trying to power out of corners, and then you just sit there wheel spinning, not going anywhere.
Terrific battle. I mean, that battle for 3rd place, and you had them breathing down your neck. It was all going on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and my pit board was +0. In the last 3 laps it was +0-0, so I thought they're really close now.
Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, fantastic race in the sunshine. Made you work for it, but in the end he pegged you back.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it? You know, there's nothing between us, the pair of us. Like, what can you say? You can flick a coin. It only takes one little mistake to lose a bit of time. And yesterday I got the better of him, but today I got the better of me. But what can you say? I really enjoyed it, and this is what I wanted, though. This is what means more to me. Steve Norby was a real good friend of mine, and unfortunately I was there when the day he got killed, and this is what I wanted. I wanted it last year, but we had a bit of a breakdown. But yeah, this means a real lot to win this. I'm over the moon that I've got this in my hands. That's really nice, Tim. I mean, that's emotional, and that's really nice. It's good to hear that. Greg, 2 crews at the top of their game. Absolutely fantastic racing.
Yeah, it's a good weekend for us. We have a good point for the championship, but at the moment I think lots at Steve Norbury and all the family. It's really, really nice, man. Thank you very much, and thanks for all my team. Thank you.
Ben and Tom Birchall, 10 laps. You had to get cracking early, and you did. I could see you were really pushing, but what a great race.
Yeah, superb. A bit disappointed from yesterday, but you know that certainly made up for it today. I knew I'd got a bit of work to do starting from row 2, and yeah, we got through as quick as we could and stamped a foot a bit really. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, a massive thank you to Mitchells and Mansfield and also Napit there with us this weekend, and everybody else that helps us, Maurice Hoyles and Sean Egerty. Superb. It's nice to repay him with a win, especially at Donington, our local track.
Fantastic. Tom, he was pushing so hard. You did get a bit squirrely on more than one occasion, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the lap time we got, I think we got the lap record in that race, you know, which was fantastic as well. But he just pushed hard as soon as he could, and you know, we made a gap, and then you know the tyres did show a bit of degradation, but he just came in and brought it home. You know, it was a great ride, and credit to Tim and Greg, they were riding great as well. They didn't give it us by any means. So yeah, real good weekend.
Well, a massive lead, but Scott Lorry hanging on to 2nd place by 7 points, would you believe? It's getting closer. Birchalls will not contest Silverstone. Lovelock and Lawrence then have the opportunity to march on. Peach, Bell, Bygrave. There are double points up for grabs at the final round in Mondello Park, so still a lot of opportunity for all these guys to climb up the ladder. Gary Smith did himself a power of good today, and Mark Edwards, with Shelley Smith as lady passenger there, has got half a dozen points. What a terrific 2nd race here from Donington Park. It's honours evens, a win apiece for Tim Reeves and the Birchall boys. I think Reeves is romping away with the championship, but nonetheless, the penultimate round comes from Silverstone, 23rd, 24th, 25th of September. Don't, whatever you do, miss it. It's going to be great. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.